Another mystery that needs to be solved. These batteries should not run out in 28 minutes, especially since I've done a 42-minute video before and had the batteries not run out. I just put brand new batteries in this. And I'm trying to figure out how long these batteries actually last, how many minutes. When you're doing it for a while and the battery gets low, the thing suddenly shuts off, but then you can do it again like I'm doing right now. Anyway, I had an epiphany. An epiphany. See, when I first found out about the power of attorney, a little over 3 years ago, the summer of 2009, and it was totally by accident I found out. It hadn't been very long that the power of attorney had existed since 2000. I found out, and that's not even right in and of itself, but it hadn't been very long that since Marion had asserted her complete control over my mother's finances and whatnot, okay? So I wasn't living here, no proof and whatever. Now I have tons of evidence that I can present to a judge. Even just what happened in regards to this 2 days ago. I have evidence. Like my musician ex said, this power of attorney thing, your aunt is supposed to be acting in good faith, and she has not demonstrated that she's acting in good faith. Okay? My mother should have every right to do anything without Marion threatening her and making her feel like shit, and I have evidence now. I'm getting a lawyer. I'm gonna get a lawyer. I'm gonna talk to a lawyer. I'm gonna see it. And then we're gonna present our case, and we'll let a judge decide. And I'll abide by whatever that judge decides. But at least I'll have closure. See? Because what I want desperately is for my mother not to be afraid, and for my mother to not be saying to me, oh Laura, I don't want Marion to have this control of me. I don't want to be manipulated. She manipulates me. I'm afraid of her. I want to get rid of that power of attorney and have, and the thing is, I want that too, because once Marion is out of the picture, and I bet you anything that if I win, Miriam will never speak to my mom again. But my mom will see that. I believe that the aunt with cancer will still, be in my mom's life. But the thing is, I want to be free to be with my mom. I can't deal with my mother on Marion's terms. I can deal with my mom on my mom's terms. Sure, she'll get on my nerves and we'll fight sometimes. But I'll know that it's not hanging over our heads, that Marion can throw me out at a moment's notice like she threatened to do the other day the second my mom said boo to her, okay? In regards to something that my mom had every right to say boo about. My mom's potential victim of identity fraud, the IRS told my mom that, and Marion was supposed to handle it and didn't do anything for 6 months. Well, she gave my mom the excuse yesterday, the aunt with cancer, I was worried about her, and I was busy, I was this, and I didn't think how you could possibly be an identity fraud. Someone has to steal your pocketbook. No. Bullshit, it's all bullshit. I don't know what's going on through her head. But the fact of the matter is, when I convinced my mom that we would handle it, Marion became enraged. She called me a conniving bitch who just wants power over my mother's money. She was furious. She hurt my mother, yelling at her or whatever. My mom was in here crying, why, Mom? Why didn't you stand up to her? You said you would. I'm afraid of her, Laura. I don't want her manipulating me. I'm afraid of her. That is not how this should be. I'm going to fight this, because if I win, I'm free. My mother and I are totally free from her sisters, and they will have to just love her for her, and not because she's being a good little girl and letting Marion control everything and not question anything, or they won't. But I'm going to let a judge decide. I had an epiphany. I'm going to let a judge decide. It just shouldn't be Marion. Everything I've seen, that I have so much evidence. I'm going to let a judge decide. And then I'll abide by that decision. See? But a judge is going to decide this, not my fucking Marion. You get it? Get it? I don't have to prove that I am competent enough to handle my mother's affairs. I only have to prove that my Aunt Marion is not and has not been acting in good faith from the beginning. That's all I have to do. That's all I have to do. I woke up with such clarity. No judge is going to grant me power over my mom's affairs based on my history and the fact that I'm on psych disability now, and I understand that. But I'm going to expose all of this and let a judge decide whether Marion, who's all secretive and all manipulative and my mom's afraid of her, should be the one to continue to have complete control, when her control and my mother's trust based on fear and based on just wanting to believe good in people, whatever, could cause me to easily be fucked over should something happen to my mom. Marion has not acted in good faith at all. Marion has acted like a dictator. I only have to prove it. I have evidence. I don't have to prove my own competency. Let a judge decide. I want to know what Marion's up to. And as far as Marion's concerned, neither my mother nor I have any right, especially not have any right to know what she's up to. Okay? My mom said boo to Marion and all hell broke loose, and I wound up terrified my mom's going to wind up back in the mental hospital. I'm barricading my door. I'm turning into like a net, a net case is going to wind up being locked up. This was the end result, besides her telling my mom about me. She's a conniving bitch. She just wants power over your money. I'm going to have her thrown out of there. Okay? This is the message that my aunt left. Samantha, it's Marion. When I pick you up at 11 o'clock tomorrow, you and I are going to have a long talk about some things. We need to clear the air over this because this is very upsetting to me. And it's just not right what you were doing. And I have a lot of questions that I've had in the back of my mind since Laura's moved in there. And I'm going to get some answers tomorrow when I see you, all right? So be prepared. And by the way, bring out that certified mail thing that you proves you sent it out so I can see when you mailed it, okay? Bye. She didn't wind up using whatever, She has in the past, I know that because my mom's told me. But now that I'm here, she knows my mom will tell me everything. No, she was nice. She apologized. She gave explanations of why she behaved that way, and and this, that, whatever, because she felt like my mother had lied to her. My mother said she would give her and then suddenly, because of me, and I totally admit that, I convinced my mom, why have her handle it? She didn't want to handle it. All these months, suddenly your social worker steps in and she's going to handle it. Bullshit, But no, my mom should have had a right to do this anyway, but it turns out, because Marion gets all the tax stuff, and, my mom's not allowed to know anything about anything. Marion gets all the tax stuff, and it goes to her address, and it would have been, to me, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. So I was this close to winding up back in the shelter. Either that or, I can't pay, I'm not going to deplete my money paying it for a hotel every night. I would have been back in the shelter. But I would have back in the shelter with $15,000 in my bank account and new fuel to get a fucking attorney and fight this thing. And what Marion was doing is what my ex called kicking up dust. Not addressing the issue at hand was that Marion did nothing about my mother potentially being a victim of identity fraud and never getting her IRS money, and then at tax people, the IRS agent actually saying, we have two forms filed under your social, and that ain't good, baby. You gotta get to the bottom of this. And Marion never did it, and that makes me suspicious. And, because my mom didn't want to handle it. She hands it over to Marion, and Marion does nothing. But the fact that my mom said boo to Marion, and I witnessed it, and look at the chaos that resulted. It's all about control, brainwashing, manipulation, and the number one, fear. My mom sat right there. I'm afraid of her, love. Afraid of her. I told my mom, I'm being upfront, I'm getting a lawyer, and I said, you want to perjure yourself? You want to sit there and lie and say you're not afraid of Mary? Be my guest, Mom. Be my guest, I can call my musician ex if it came down to it and have him testify. Okay? I've told him everything that's been going on, whatnot. I don't have to prove my competency. That lawyer acquaintance of mine is wrong. It's her and her husband. They don't specialize in power of attorneys and family, whatever. She's just using her common sense or what she knows. No, I do not have to prove my competency, okay? I am admittedly mentally ill. I've been diagnosed. I'm on psych disability because I was a domestic violence abuse, psychological abuse victim day after day. I only have to prove that Marion has not acted in good faith, that I have reason to not trust her, that she has given me repeated reasons to not trust her when it comes to her control over my mother's estate, which directly affects me because I am the rightful heir should anything happen. I am the only child. I am the one who should everything should go to should anything happen to my mother, okay? I don't have to prove my competency. I'm going to let a judge decide. I'm going to let the judge decide, and I will abide by that judge's decision. But at least I'll have closure. I'll have closure. It'll be done or done with. There'll be nothing I can do about it, and I'll have closure. Right now I have no closure, and I'm just filled with anger and frustration and just everything. And I don't want to take out my anger and frustration on my mentally ill mother who just doesn't have the competency to grasp the grave situation that's going on with her trusting her sister and not questioning her sister. And the second if she says boo, like we just saw, her sister flies into a rage. It's not right. I just want closure on this. I can't live this way. I can't live on, I can deal with my mother on my mother's terms. I cannot deal with my mother on Marion's terms, where I have to listen to my mother parrot back anything Marion says that I dissect and I think is bullshit, but my mom swallows it hook, line, and sinker, and I'm expected to do the same, or it becomes a fight between my mother and me. No. I want freedom. I want to be able to live with my mother and be totally free of the family who can either love us on our own terms or stay the fuck out of our lives. That'd be real love, wouldn't it? That wouldn't be Marion's, can we just forget we were ever mean to each other? She does that in December, and then look what she just did to me 2 days ago. Okay, she showed her true colors. My ex, after my mom was crying, I asked them, will you do me a favor, Mom, so I can have, in case I have to ever call him as a witness, can you tell him what you just told me? And she did. She wasn't doing it because I told her to. I mean, she wasn't pretending. She was crying. She said, I'm afraid of her, Stephen. I don't want to manipulate me. She said it. She apparently told her a parable that I'm going to sing right now. My batteries are probably running out. It's about, there was this, scorpions and frogs were mortal enemies, mortal enemies. And one day, the scorpion wanted to cross the river. And he's begging the frog. He's like, I can't swim, but you can swim. Will you please let me hop on your back and go across the river? I promise I won't sting you. I promise. Please, please, please. The frog's like, no, you'll sting me. You'll sting me. Okay? But the scorpion begged, no, I've changed. I'm not like that anymore. Just like my mom will say in regards to my hearing, she's changed, Laura. She's not like that anymore. Can we just forget we were ever mean to each other and hugging me and offering to fix my computer and letting me stay here and then hugging me the Sunday before Christmas. Just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas, Laura. And then look what she did. She turned on me the second she thought I might question anything she's up to, or convince my mother to question anything she's up to. Scorpion and the frog. The frog finally is worn down. The frog finally, all right, hop on my back. I'll swim across the river with you on my back. He's swimming and swimming. Now, I said to Max, well, if he stings them in the water, they'll both drown, okay? So he, I didn't understand, so he's swimming. They finally get to shore, and the scorpion, he stings them. He had just taken him across the river, and he stings them. And as the frog lay dying, he's looking at the scorpion. He's just like, why? Just please tell me, why did you do this to me? Scorpion matter-of-factly goes, because I'm a scorpion. That's it. Scorpion. Marion showed her true colors. She showed her true colors the second she thought I might be convincing my mother to stand up to her in the slightest way. I'm getting a lawyer. I had an epiphany. I have all this ammunition, all this evidence. I don't have to prove my competency. I don't have to be saying I want to handle my mother's affairs. No one's going to let me, unfortunately. Unfortunately, they won't. Because they don't know me worth shit, and they have to look at my background. I know that I'm not after my mother's money. I know that I just want to have rights in regards to everything, that it's all Mary and the healthcare products, everything. I have all this ammunition, all this evidence. We'll let a judge decide. Let a judge decide. Of course, the second I begin these proceedings and Marion finds out about it, she's going to have me thrown out of here. Scorpion and frog. Can we just forget we were ever mean to each other? You're full of shit. It's all, my ex said he should, maybe his ex had said, you should have said to her, yeah, sure, if you rip up the power of attorney. But I don't have the guts to do that, because then immediately flames would come out of her head, and she'd have, there'd be a fight, and she'd have me thrown out of here. I mean, Scorpion, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's easy for her to apologize to my mom. She knows that's the way to get my mom to believe everything's fine. She showed her true colors. My mom asserts herself, and I said, Mom, you know nothing about what's going on with the 401k. For all you know, Marion's dipped into it. She has every right under the law to do it. You'd never know what she's doing. I trust her, Laura. Oh, I'll ask her about my 401k. Oh, sure you will, Mom. The second you do that, her claws are going to come out. Her claws came out just because you wanted to take care of something that you trusted her to take care of, and she didn't do it, and it was something very important. I took you across the river. I trusted you. The frog was just bewildered. He lay dying. Why sting me? Why do it? Why? Because I'm a scorpion. That's what I do. Marion declared as fraud the legitimate charges my mother had made on her own credit card. She did it to make it look like I'd stolen my mom's credit card, since my mom had gotten those while I was here. She had made those purchases, bought me some stuff, bought herself some stuff, bought food for us. It doesn't really matter. Marion had no right to declare as fraud legitimate charges my mother had made on her own credit card. She did it. See, she's arrogant. She cannot sit there and hug me now and let me stay here. It's just, keep your friends close, your enemies closer. She showed her true colors. I don't care if my mom sits there and says, oh, she's sorry, Laura, she's sorry. Don't care. This was a test, and she failed. She 100% failed. And I had an epiphany. My lawyer friend's not an expert. She's not even a lawyer, her husband is, but she doesn't specialize in power of attorneys and legal and elder abuse and psychological abuse. My musician acts is like, what your aunt's doing to your mother is a crime. It's psychological abuse. I know. Nobody listens to me. Yeah, well, you haven't actually talked to anybody. Well, that's true, because I was basically being abused myself, and then I had not a penny to my name. You can't get a lawyer when you have a penny to your name. But you have a penny to your name now, Laura. You have quite a few pennies. In fact, you have $15,000 in the bank. You know, you could use 4 of it to get a really good lawyer and talk to him and have him investigate, and you'll still have $11,000, with another $1,000 coming next month. I'm getting a lawyer. I want closure. The judge is going to look at all the evidence and he'll decide. If he decides in favor of my Aunt Marion, after weighing in all the evidence and talking to my mom and whatnot, then I have to accept that. If my mom outright lies and says she's not afraid of Marion and whatnot and just retracts everything, well, that'll break my heart and make me very sad, because she sits there and tells me she loves me and she wants the power of attorney revoked and doesn't want Marion manipulating her and doesn't, and blah, 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 and wants this house in a living trust for me, and, in the end, maybe a judge will, at least, if I get a good judge and not an ass, he'll decide, oh, Marion can still, because someone has to have control of your money. It's better not to have a stranger. But he'll put checks and balances on her. He'll say that she has to report to him what's going on, that she has to hand over the will that leaves me everything, that somebody is going to be over Marion's shoulder and make sure she's all on the up and up and is only doing this to protect my mother's finances, so my mother doesn't get taken advantage by either me or her friends or whatnot. I'll abide by that too. Under the circumstances, I don't think a judge should weigh in Marion's favor at all. I think she should be totally cut out of this, because she did this all behind my mother's back, and it's all been about control and manipulation, brainwashing, and fault. I'm just out for your best interest, and just my mother should be made aware of all the facts of how dangerous it is for me, Marion, having all this unsupervised control over my mom. No checks and balances. Nobody knows what Marion's up to, and that's not right. So let a judge decide. I have a really good case. Really good case. I'll tell him everything. Marion's going to tell him everything anyway. She's going to point out that I'm insane, that I believe Jack Croker was in love with me and I never met him, and that I ran off to find him at one of his concerts, and she knows all of that, unfortunately, because my mom told her. My mom can't be trusted. I tell her stuff with confidence and she repeats it to my enemy. I want closure on this. I deserve to have closure. It's going to be out in the open. I don't have to stay here. I can leave right now. I was going to leave yesterday. If I hadn't if my mom had repeated something different than what happened yesterday, I would be gone today. It's just that I'm a little appeased by what Marion's behavior. I didn't expect that, so. And the thing was mailed, and my mom, so supposedly, so it was about just control with Marion, but that was enough. She's a Scorpion, she showed her true colors, but it was just she's a control freak, I think, and I don't think she's involved, but it's just very weird. My ex says that if my mom's social, you'd think that they would take that Social Security number and sell it, and all kinds of bad things would be happening. But who knows? It needs to be investigated. It has to be investigated as to why there are two federal tax returns filed under my mom's social. That's income tax fraud. It's not good. It makes my mom look bad. It makes her under suspicion. is not good, and Marion blew it off and didn't care, and that's not good. That doesn't show her competency in handling my mother's affairs. Never mind the fact that my mother's admittedly afraid of her. And my mom will tell me stuff, but faced with having to know, she backs down. The second she has to deal with Marion's pissed off and yelling, she backs down and is afraid and won't do anything Marion, won't question anything Marion says or does. Marion will make it out to everyone. Marion tries to brainwash. Just the fact that she said, she's just after your money. I have every right to question Marion. This is my inheritance we're talking about. Never mind how I don't like how my mom is conflicted and how you treat her. I have every right to question everything. But Marion lets them know, thinks Marion's queen, and I have no right to question anything. My mom has no right to question anything. It's not right. It's not right. And the thing is, it's only a matter of time before Marion finds out about you too. This that happened is going to put questions in her mind. I have a feeling all she has to do is what she did when she found me on Twitter. She found me on Twitter because she punched in at least her role. She does that now, and that's it. It's over. It's over. It's over. Marion tries to make out to my mom just the fact that Marion would even use that. She's a conniving bitch. She's just after you. She just wants power over your money. Yeah. And that's horrible, horrible in your eyes, isn't it, Marion? Because you are presenting yourself as protecting my mom, but deep down I don't believe it for a second. Just like the scorpion and the frog. I don't believe you for a second. You're full of shit. You showed your true colors and stung me. Okay? But I had to hug you back because I have no choice. I'm just pretending. But, the frog believed you had totally changed. He trusted you. I won't trust you or shit. And I don't trust you. So I wasn't surprised in the least that you stung me. The frog was surprised. I'm not, Marion. The second you thought that my mom was being, standing up to you because of what I've said to her, your claws came out. You showed your true colors. Okay? Just like the scorpion stung the frog, only the frog was stupid. He really, really did trust the scorpion. He thought the scorpion had changed. I know you haven't changed, Marion. And the thing is, the second you find out about YouTube, and it's only a matter of time, I know it, I feel it, all hell's gonna break loose. I have a right to get a lawyer to fight this and let a judge